Studio Time Check 934 on 939 Solutions FM. My name is Adi Damola Lafewa. Thank God it's another beautiful Monday morning in the big and beautiful city of Ibadan. And the program is from the dailies where we get to take you through the front pages of our newspapers. And I have Comrade Ayodeji Ajishokbe right here with me in the studio. A beautiful morning to you, Comrade Ayodeji Ajishokbe.
Yes, another Monday morning, and it's a pleasure to be here with you and, of course, on this platform.
Okay, looking at the papers, there's a beautiful Monday morning. I have about five newspapers. I have the Vanguard, the Nigerian Tribune, the Punch newspaper, and looking at the Guardian too. I have the Guardian as well, and the Nation newspaper too. Now, taking the first shot at the Vanguard newspaper, that's a Monday morning. We have this one saying, herdsmen, bandits strike in Benue, Kebbi, Imo, Ondo, Kogi, kill 33. And riders, state police will stem tide of insecurity at Feni Ferry. And the second rider, Zulum begs FG not to allow Mate fall. Mate is a local government area in Borno State, and the governor of Borno State, Babagana Zulum, is begging the federal government not to allow Mate to fall into the hands of insurgents. That story is found on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Moving away from that story, manufacturing sector rebounds, revenue profits soar. Pope Leo XIV inauguration, Nigeria's unity in diversity, work in progress. Tinubu. Abdulrazak mourns as 37 passengers drown in Kwara boat mishap. Moving to the Guardian newspaper now, I have this one saying Lagos to enforce a total ban on single-use plastics from July 1. Reps Association demand independent audit of JAMB. Many trapped, 3 rescued as building collapses in Lagos. Another one says Egypt 2025, Nigeria beat Egypt to bronze on penalties. 2027, Tinubu's growing hopes spark debate on efficacy of defections. Still looking at the front page of the Guardian newspaper, Tinubu, Obi, Fayemi meet at Pope Leo's inauguration. 50 billion naira to varsity staff. Students on edge as Nasu Sano reject sharing formula. And the biggest story on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, it says MPC at crossroads over rate hike amid sticky prices, global uncertainty.
And I think there was a story, I think the paper you read before this, about prices or something like that.
Yeah,
That was the Tribune.
The Vanguard.
The Vanguard?
Talking about manufacturing sector rebounds as revenue profits are.
Really?
Is that what you're talking about? Yes. That's what they said.
Maybe we could juxtapose the two.
The two, okay.
Yeah.
The Nation newspaper, we have it saying that let's convert our diversity to prosperity, says Tinubu, and the riders president at Pope's inauguration mass. Second rider, Leo XIV, pledges peace in the world. MPC to retain interest rate in bid to bring down inflation. Yakasai, nobody has capacity to unseat Tinubu.
Well, the Holy Book says, let those who are standing be mindful. That could be a dummy being sold.
I'm telling you. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, at Pope Leo's inauguration, Tinubu says Nigeria's unity in diversity, work in progress, meets Obi Fayemi. Another one, Kwara governor sympathizes with families of 27 victims lost in boat tragedy. Insurgency, this is a not so good one. Insurgency Borno governor goes spiritual, declares statewide fasting prayers. I mean, isn't it funny to be calling on the host of heaven to come and
deliver them
do-
from the host of host of hell? Yes, really.
It's a
I
sad
think
one, actually.
it's a sad one.
It's a
That
sad
tells
one.
you the
when
location.
the governor of a state is now asking, I mean, calling on the citizens to go spiritual.
And an academic with the rank of a professor.
Professor. As talking about insecurity, kidnappers kill APC ward chairman in Ondo after collecting 5 million naira ransom. A quick run through the front page of the Punch newspaper, then we go into the stories proper. 2027 coalition, Atiku camp offers Obi VP role in one-term deal. Rider, opposition leaders may dump SDP for ADC as new coalition platform. Away from that, talking about insecurity, resurgent attacks, FG Borno revamp anti-terror strategy. Another one, CBN slashes FG loans by over 4 trillion naira. Tinubu Obi Fayemi share light moments at Pope's inauguration. Another one, this has to do with Japa. Japa doctor drain devastate 12 states. Tinubu approves licenses for North Oil project. Kwara governor urges calm after boat tragedy claims its 7 lives. And the last one, Lagos probes Katsina workers recruitment by Dangote refinery. It's 20 minutes to 10 on Solutions and 93.9 FM. I still have Comrade Ayodeji Ajisope right in the studio with me, and together we'll be taking the stories one after the other. The first one I'd like us to talk about this morning is the state of insecurity in the nation, which we can never ever stop talking about, considering the different attacks we get in recent times. Now, herdsmen, bandits strike in Benue. Benue again. Kebbi, Imo, Ondo, Kogi, kill 33. And now the Afenifere is saying that state police will stem tide of insecurity. Let's take it from the Afenifere statement.
Well, state police. And I think we should stop deploying the word state police. I think local policing is it. Because you see, it's like you're talking about, and they've been talking about this for decades, restructuring. And the word restructuring became scary to some people, and they just didn't want to hear it, not to talk of taking a look at it. Now, you recall that there was a point in time when the IG attended the program, and the IG, came down heavily on the suggestion of state policing and all of that. Of course, he retracted the following day. But you see, when the president came into office, he talked about Nigeria's security doctrine. And it is the doctrine that underpins the architecture. It is the doctrine, you understand, that determines the kind of configuration you are going to put in place. It is the security configuration that is called the architecture. It's like you want to design a house, you understand? If it depends on the location, you will see that culturally, the architectural designs for some northern parts, you understand? Even in the northern parts, the central parts, the northeast, the northwest, the north central, the designs are different. And the designs are based on their weather and some other factors. So when you're putting your security architecture in place, the doctrine that should underpin is the security situation that is obtained. And of course, like you said here a few weeks back, Hydra-headed, or what did you call it?
Yeah, Hydra-headed.
So, you have to design an architecture that will suit that. And of course, deploy your forces, special forces, regular forces, accordingly. The president talked about this at his inauguration. Those are the two key things he spoke about. The floating of the Naira, the removal of subsidy, and this Nigeria security doctrine. When you read something about Borno State government and the military rejigging strategy.
Yeah.
You are rejigging strategy. What about the philosophy that underpins it? You see, it's like you are doing the same thing, yes. and over and over again the same way.
With this rejigging strategy, we've heard the military men, I mean the security forces, saying that they are rejigging, but we are yet to see positive results to that.
Yes, I remember that a few years back, we were, in conversation with some security experts outside the military, and the prof, this is a professor of security studies that consulted for Pentagon. The Pentagon has a command that is called AFRICOM, Africa Command. This guy has consulted for them. And then when they sit down with Nigeria's military, they say, you are the people that designed the battle, and you fight the same battle that you designed. Look, let some people that are outside who look at it dispassionately design the battle plan. Or let's sit down together and let's work this out. But they are not listening. They call them to conferences, they go, they talk, and they go back and do the same thing.
Why are they not listening?
Because these are civilians. We are the military. Whereas these are the people that they are able to look at things dispassionately.
But it looks like this bandits and insurgents, let me put it that way, they have a way of outsmarting our security forces.
Because it is not the regular warfare where the battle line will be delineated.
But shouldn't they have been able to at least come up with a perfect strategy to tackle this?
God bless you for that. Perfect strategy. You understand? Look at the one you were telling me this morning. They hit one of our, what do you call it, camps, military camps.
Yeah, I was just coming to that. I mean, just last week, a military base was attacked in Marte local government. Military base. And at that attack, during the attack, they seized 3 gun trucks and over 70 motorcycles. The bandits went away with after killing 7 people.
That's clearly an operational
I
base.
mean, carrying an attack on a military base.
Yes, that certainly is an
What
operational
more
base.
could be more daring than that?
Or more could be more daring. And, this 70 bikes.
70 motorcycles.
Okay. Gun trucks.
And 3 gun trucks.
So let's say
Taken
they mounted the bikes on the trucks. I mean, you cannot put the 70 bikes on those 3 trucks. Certainly they must have been around 40 or thereabout of them that came. And they must have come in some form of mobility too.
Definitely they must have come with motorcycles too, numerous of them.
So I think this morning I came to the conclusion, as we sat there, that our men are weary.
I was going to ask you that this insecurity issue, can it be surmounted by our military men?
Yes, they can be.
But does it look like that?
Well, we do not, but it is apparent because that's what they call rotation. I'm on the battlefield for 6 months, 1 year, 18 months, no rotation.
Comrade, Benue State has been in the news for bad reasons in the last 1 month, almost every week. Who would have believed that this same Benue State will suffer another attack where innocent souls will be killed, despite the fact that the National Security Advisor had been there, the Chief of Defense Staff had been there.
What
They made so many statements and everything, saying that this will be the end of such things. And this Benue still comes under attacks.
Yes, the issue in Benue, you and I know, is quite different from the configuration of the Northeast. This is about resources in terms of farmers and herders. It is the same space. The herder wants to graze. The farmer says, no, you are not going to use my space. And how do you resolve that? The only resolution in 2025 is creating, what do they call them? Grazing reserves. That is the only resolution. But the other people are saying that is our way of life. I say, no, if your way of life becomes a hindrance to another man's way of life, I mean, the only resolution is nobody really, and believe me honestly, in the whole of West Africa, that has been a real problem. And some countries have dealt with this situation very ruthlessly. You understand? But I think Nigeria is, in Ghana they were just shooting at anybody that was herding, in authorized places and all of that. But, we are doing our own things differently here. I recall President Buhari saying that they should activate or reactivate the grazing routes. Grazing routes in 2025? Come on. I mean, somebody told me that the president was frozen in the 60s. So we have to address these things. It's not new. This is not new.
It is not.
It has been like that forever, but it is getting worse.
Now that the Borno State governor has asked the citizens to.
And when you talk about Benue, just put Plateau.
Now
in
I'm going back to Borno now. Borno governor Abubakar Babagana Zulu has said that people of Borno State should go spiritual, and has declared fasting and prayers.
You see,
for foreigners listening to watching what is happening in the country, it will look like a joke.
It's really worse than a joke, because Babagana Zulum is an academic of the rank of a professor, and when you start calling on people to start praying, things that are physical like this, this is physical.
Going spiritual for physical things.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing wrong in praying. Going spiritual, but I mean,
there's nothing wrong in praying. But the scripture says walk and pray, not pray and walk. So you walk first. Look, I think it's a sign, clear sign that even the governor is overwhelmed. Is
the federal government doing anything or doing enough to tackle insecurity?
From the result we are getting, no, certainly. But the problem is, another angle to it is, war is business.
I said it as hydro-headed.
Yeah.
Part of it is kidnapping too.
That's business.
Now there's a story in the papers this morning about saying that kidnappers killed APC ward chairman in Ondo after collecting 5 million naira ransom.
That's business.
On Friday, we read a particular story where a group of people were kidnapped. They asked for ransom. The ransom bearers that were supposed to come and hand over the ransom to the kidnappers, they took the money from them and they kidnapped them too.
It is business. And you see,
why is the business booming?
It is booming, but because the security agencies are not doing the needful. Look, some of these things that are done electronically, they make calls. They leave footprints.
They leave traces.
They leave footprints everywhere. So are they not being tracked? Why are they not tracked? One of the reasons why they insisted everybody must register their SIMs and all of that. Let me tell you. Let me not tell you something about SIM registration. Somebody was coming in from outside the country, West African coast. As soon as he alighted at Mazamaza, he bought a SIM, a Nigerian SIM, for 5,000 naira. And when he called me, the name that came out is Ife. I said, where did you get this SIM? He said, he just bought the SIM. I'm talking about last week. Already registered. He came in from one of the West African countries. And they just sold it to him 5,000 naira. Registered in somebody's name, with somebody's NIN.
Let me shock you. This happened to me. I bought a SIM, was it 2 months ago? A brand new SIM. I registered it immediately. Now I used the number to call another number, and the number it was displaying was displaying the name of somebody from the southeast. Despite the fact that I had already registered the SIM in my name.
Yeah.
So how effective is this NIN registration? There's all these things that they compel us to do when registering.
They are not following up on it. It is, and I don't think these things are as complicated as.
Are they even effective enough? This same number I'm talking about, if I use it to dial you, if you have a true caller on your phone, it will give another name.
Yes.
Different from what I registered with that SIM.
Yes. I'd gone to regularize my registration, and it still keeps showing.
That means this SIM registration they are telling us to do. It's possible that 3-4 people can register on one number.
Well, sometimes they recall some numbers after it's not been in use for years.
Okay.
They deregister, and then the number is back in circulation. But the problem,
the name of the previous user is still on it.
Well, embedded within their system already. But it will be registered in your own name. But it is already embedded.
Well,
it's like
if I buy such SIMs and I register in my name, shouldn't it be updated?
You buy SIM, and then they activate it.
With an existing number.
When they activate it in your name,
Okay.
but definitely they still have they still have, you know, that data
In their database. All right, it's 6 minutes to 10 on Solutions 93.9 FM. Let's leave the story, the issue of insecurity for now, and let's talk about the particular statement credited to Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the Vatican when he said that Nigeria's unity in diversity is a work in progress. And many Nigerians are asking the same question now. We have many tribes in Nigeria. We have ethnic groups in Nigeria. In the past, let me say, in the past 15, 20 years, do you feel that every ethnic tribe in the country still has that sense of belonging to that great country called Nigeria?
I think one thing that our leaders, political, military, they have done in the past 40 years, starting with the military, they wanted to decree unity. I remember I had cause to ask one of the elder statesmen about one of our former leaders, and he cleared him on the grounds of the fact that the man was youthful then. And I said, these guys were trying to decree unity. You can't decree unity. Then you started unity schools, and then NYSC, and then people, all sorts of antics, so that people will mix and all of that. Look, in your secondary school days, did you read about Igbo history? All we did was